Hello everyone. We continue listen to the truth again.
MD #FP007 The Forbidden Truth made O1's children abandon their merit, commit sins, and miss the express train to the end of Dharma. Number 314. Thursday, January 26, 2023 Song. Doing done only this part, oh. My heart, why doesn't your heart learn? Insisting on loving you even though I know he's not the one, but still love him with all my heart, letting him hurt me, repeatedly, oh, my heart. Why is it so easy to love someone? Is it too easy? Oh, my heart, oh, my heart. Why don't you remember the pain? Explaining that O1 is still trying to find a way to make O2 believe in O1 instead of O6. So I blew a spell to make you fascinated, let the gold on my face make you crazy. I will take the love to tie to your heart with only me. So I blew a spell to make you fall in love, forget the hundreds of men who keep coming to grief, and let this love never fade. Let you love only me forever, no one else can make you waver. I wanna ask for my love to be invisible, let her look at me alone. Okay, I don't want her to fall in love with anyone but me. Explain that O1 wanted to do this to O2, but could only lament in her heart. Sunday, January 29, 2023. The signal from O1 came to the heart of the one who truly knew. Is it because of you? Before, I was never lonely. Because of you or who? Before, I never knew each other's hearts. Until the day you had to go. I was happy. Because of whom? Explain that after 3 days, this signal showed that O2 was beyond repair. O1 must have lost O2 for sure, which was the announcement to establish a strategic committee. Monday, January 30, 2023, the signal from O1 said, looking back at the third hand as good. To replace in the heart, letting someone who was once faithful to die. How could you do that? Explain that there was a project that was sent in the news that in early February there would be a new merit-making ceremony. In fact, it was the launch of the project to build 24 Buddha statues around the glass island that was promoted today. It means that the meeting was held at noon morning on Monday, January 30, 2023. And it was in accordance with the idea of O6 that O2 was happy to do, without knowing that it was a major mistake. Update number 4, Saturday, February 11, 2023 at 6:33 p.m. O1, the dragon overlaps the body, taking my subtle body, the one who knows the truth, to dream. 1. Go to the place. There is a room like a classroom with lecture tables lined up in rows. Like an exam room in a school. The room has about 40 to 50 people. I walked to find a bathroom. When I opened the door to enter this room, I saw the back of the room. It was like a bathroom, but there was no wall. 2. Peeking into the room that I saw, there was a squat toilet. Because I thought of sitting there, I realized that there were many people sitting with their backs facing each other, like they were sitting quietly taking exams. How could I sit on the toilet? 3. There was a toilet outside. So I thought I would come outside instead. But I changed my mind because I was thinking of using the toilet in the exam room. There was also a woman older than me who came to the toilet. She walked from the exam room. 4. When she arrived, she sat down to poop. What I saw again was that it was all piled up on the foot pedal. The poop was like she was sitting down and not defecating straight down the toilet bowl. It was semi-dry and semi-wet, meaning it wasn't completely dry or liquid. It was dark in color, similar to chocolate. 5. I think that woman couldn't hold it in any longer. The toilet seat wasn't a flush toilet, but a squat toilet as high as her waist. I walked past and saw that. So I turned back out. I'd rather not use that place. 6. But I was very surprised because before long, a man walked in. He was a short, thick man with fair skin and a shaved head. I remember writing this at 5:46 p.m. He looked like O1's big secretary. He was wearing a white outfit. He scooped up the poop and did something like scoop it into a container and shook it. When I opened it, I saw bars like gold bars, separated from the poop that had been scooped up. There were many bars. His facial expression showed that he was very intelligent. The person who came to poop didn't know that he was pooping in that room. He came to collect and extract gold bars. I just happened to be walking past. I didn't go to take a picture, so I saw it. 7. And then I saw him drive a car with people sitting in it. It was like I was following him to see what he was doing. It looked like the back of the car was a van with long chairs that could seat 3 people. There were already 2 women sitting there. Then another small woman got in. I thought, if my husband and I went to sit there, how would we sit? If I let the small woman sit, would I be able to sit close to my husband? 8. Another part was like going to a very modern building. Similar to someone's office. Can't remember the details. Dream analysis. 1. That room is at the Dhammakaya temple. 2. The lecture table is far apart, like sitting for an exam. That is where people come to meditate in the temple. 3. Behind the room is the place for excretion. That is, behind the people who come to meditate, there is merit making. 4. The toilet bowl is high. That is, the merit that is made is high, such as the merit of building a Buddha image. 5. The feces are the money made for merit making, a large amount per person. 6. If the defecation is straight down the gooseneck, that means the money donated for merit making is actually used to build the Buddha image. 7. The middle woman who defecates is not straight down the gooseneck. The feces are piled up on the edge of the high toilet bowl. That means the woman who came to make merit has made merit. But the money was not actually used to build the Buddha image. 8. The man who came to scoop the feces is the big secretary of O1. 9. That man is holding the feces container. When he shakes it, he opens it to extract the small square bars. That is the big secretary of O1 who took the money made for merit making to build this Buddha image. Go buy gold bars 10. O1 take me to see why the big secretary of O1 took the money from the merit making to make gold for 11. The big secretary of O1 has a car to drive. He has 2 wives and a daughter who is a student. In the dream, there was me and my husband. It has nothing to do with it. O1 just took me to see. I have a husband because I used to feel bad. I often dream of different stories. I was alone, so O1 let my husband be with me in the event that took me to dream. 12. The big secretary of O1 took the money that people made merit to make gold bars and worked for an organization that uses advanced technology. There is also a modern building. Explain that in summary. This dream O1 said that it explained that the merit of building the Buddha that was announced to invite people to join. The money from the merit making will be changed by the big secretary of O1 to gold bars. It is used for personal use with a family and working for someone, O6 and his friends, who spend money on advanced technology, continued 15. 15. Saturday, February 11, 2023 at 10:01 p.m. O1 through the dragon, signaled the real person as follows. Song. Wrong that I trusted at silly fool, only this part. It was wrong that I gave you my heart. It was wrong that I let you keep it. It was wrong that I saw you with my heart. It was wrong that I trusted you. I saw you wrongly. Explaining that she here means the big secretary of O1 and Ms. E. Both of them are people that O1 trusted since the time he was looking for land to build a temple. Building a meditation center in the provinces all over Thailand. He assigned Ms. E to take care of receiving merit. After that, he assigned O1's big secretary to be his personal secretary, receiving all matters that came to O1 until he found out that Ms. E was corrupt in the land matter. He reported to O1 and O1 assigned O1's big secretary to go and solve the problem. Take everything back from Ms. E and the problem is quiet. 01 understood that 01's big secretary had already taken care of everything to get it back from Ms. E, but after many years, it was discovered that in fact, 01's big secretary had encountered problems caused by Ms. E's corruption. But then, they went back to make an agreement to share the many benefits. In the end, 01's big secretary became Ms. E's tool to embezzle the difference in every matter that belonged to 01 and every matter that 01 assigned Ms. E to handle on behalf of 01. If there was anything related to finances or profit differences, it became Ms. E's big secretary who fell into the trap of the devil regarding greed, agreeing with Ms. E, and colluding to commit corruption, embezzling every difference in the Dhammakaya temple, using the power assigned by 01 to do everything that was beneficial to himself and his group, with Ms. E being the mastermind behind the scenes. Until today, and 01 must sing this song again in my heart, because I found that the reason 01 trusted Ms. E and 01's big secretary led to committing this serious offense, both in terms of karma and criminal law if a lawsuit is filed. The worst thing is that they set up 01 to be the originator of this merit, claiming to be the reason for making an offering to the Dharma 01 on the occasion of his birthday, April 22, 2023, which will arrive, so that 01 can celebrate and be delighted. They were behind the scenes, asking for merit to build 24 Buddha statues by changing the design from the original, which was a beautiful and clean pink lotus shape, citing the view. Overall, looking at it, the original did not match the Golden Grandmother's temple and the Tripitaka chapel. Claiming 01, without the real 01 ordering, not knowing anything, ordered to demolish the original design that had been funded and built according to the finished design, only the spire and lotus buds were left, and to build a new one on the original site, designing it to have a Buddha statue that would be the ultimate merit that no one else had after the large silver Buddha statue. The one enshrined on the dome of the great Dhammakaya Sitya claimed that it was 01's wish to change the style and give the children who came later the opportunity to join in making merit with the 24 Buddhas, even releasing news claiming that it was the style that 01 sat in detailed Dhamma and saw the detailed Dhamma in the middle for many years, so he thought of building it. Even though this style is similar to the one in the great Dhammakaya Sitya dome, but that one has opened its eyes, which 01 saw in detail and reached is the Buddha for a long time since the year it was built in 1998 to 1999. But they cited all these different reasons without any truth from the mouth or voice or message. The true advice of 01 throughout 2019 until now, on February 5, 2023, who made this merit, and from the dream that 01, Mongkorn told through the real person on Saturday, February 11, 2023. It was clearly stated that making merit and designing the construction of the Sitya, the merit making of building 24 Buddha statues in the walls of this pagoda is the result, evil thoughts, of the big secretary of 01 because he wanted to use the money from the huge donation this time to make gold bars, which is a corruption with Ms. E and support 06 in doing the most evil that is about to proceed to seize the temple in the 2000 Rai area to be successful. After seizing, there will be a method to send it to be in the possession of Islam, Muslims according to the agreement that 06 had agreed to or not. When going to borrow a huge amount of money from the Muslims for personal use for making mistakes in the stock market, the contract will be compensated. If there is no money, it will be compensated with this, according to what he demanded and specified. Today, Wednesday, March 1, 2023, there is a prophecy of Nostradamus, translated by Nos. Mongkorn. It is explained that 27 can be rearranged as follows. Inside the barrel anointed with oil and sandstone, there will be 20 VN before the port is closed, which is to put money and treasure in the barrel and anointed and sealed, when the second caution by death will create courage to open the door and knock out of caution. Explain that the prophecy seems to say that there will be an attempt to close the Dhammakaya temple again, the second time after the first attempt in 2017. After the people of 06 moved the treasures such as money into a jar and sealed it tightly, they moved it out of the Dhammakaya temple gate. When they were done moving it out, they closed the temple to prevent people from exiting for the second time. But with the resolute hearts of the temple people who were already on guard, and the hearts that were still at the seventh base, it made the hearts have power and courage to open the door from the Dhammakaya temple, not allowing the temple to be closed. Explain that 28 can be rephrased as the bones of the feet and hands working together with the sound, which is comparable to walking in rhythm with the sound of soldiers clapping together and hands clapping together to receive orders. A house that no one has lived in for a long time was awakened into a dream by the sound of clapping feet. This is the residence of 01 at the Dhammakaya temple, where 01 has not stayed for a long time. However, he expected that 01 would be sitting with his eyes closed, practicing Dhammakaya meditation, dreaming here. There would be the sound of soldiers walking in, as if waking him up from a dream. When he opened the door and went in, he would find that the residence was shady and strong, and there would be no sound of people living there. This means that 01 is not residing at the temple, continued 16. 16. Explain that 29 means that two types of poison were used again in the kitchen of the great prince by two drunkards who knew that Prin was the one who had cooked the food of the eldest to death to cause trouble before, along with the translation from Kru Jor that it was cooking food that was not clean, causing plants to produce poisonous substances. Explain that it can be translated that two poisonous things will be brought to cook in the kitchen of the great prince, in this case the kitchen of 02, the deputy abbot, who had previously cooked poison like this in the kitchen of the eldest, 01, to cause death before. The words that two types of poison were used again means that 06 had already cooked poison like this with 01 before. That was the first time, 2011. It was being brought again to do with 02, the deputy abbot, this time to cause trouble. 02, the deputy abbot and the temple administration organization and the group of Wat Phra Dhammakaya were brought and cooked by two drunkards who knew what they were doing because they had done this to 01 before. This is just an example. It wasn't translated like nose Jude or Kru Jor because nose Jude was considered an insider who received a salary from the temple. He was naturally overcome by delusion, causing him to see and remember things that were concealed. He couldn't believe in reason and didn't know the truth, and only knew wrong information that the big secretary of 01 and 06 wanted people to feed him. Most of the listeners, who are hosts, merit-making leaders, would be able to maintain their faith and still come to make merit as the temple's central garden had announced to invite people to do. Especially the merit making of building 24 Buddha statues this time. Just because Kru Jor repeated that he had checked, it really belonged to 01, he devoted himself to doing it. But Kru Jor was very hesitant when he said he had checked, because there was no way that 01's big secretary would let anyone in the temple see the real 01 at the temple. He cited a lawsuit as the reason, but in reality, 01 didn't really exist at the temple. If he wanted to tell, ask, or talk about anything, he would only talk through the monks who were his attendants. If 01's voice was to be heard, anyone could do it with today's technology. There are plenty of 01 tapes that can be edited to say anything. But there is no way that anyone will see 01 update number 5 at 13.24 on Wednesday, April 19, 2023. According to the news, there was a seminar on April 18, 2023 via online about making the Dhammakaya Tripitaka. I heard many people claim that there were both sides, that Luangpur Dhammajayo ordered it to be done and Luangpur Dhammajayo did not. If you don't know the truth, it's better not to tell anyone. So my friend found a file for you to see. There are over 160 views. Please listen carefully to the point that O6 wants to tell. Otherwise, you will think that I didn't listen to him and just made up stories. So I have summarized, analyzed the ideas and what I did, and expressed the opinions of those who really know the truth for all of Luangpur Dhammajayo's children as follows. Description: O6 held a seminar via Zoom from Germany. The reason given was to go there to contact the academic professor who is working on this in Europe at Oxford University. The idea of collecting palm leaf manuscripts from all four traditions, 20 countries, comparing the texts, checking for errors, checking and editing, and copying them into a digital system to keep them for a long time, and then translating them into different languages of each country for study is the idea of a good academic who will use the modern developments of the present day to preserve the teachings. The texts, theories for studying, the textbooks of Buddhism, the words that are different in each country will rely on professionals in the Pali language to search for the best in the world to make them the least rejected and the most accepted, because no one can be found who is better than this. Then it will be the best Tripitaka that is closest to the words of the Buddha or the teachings from the mouth of the Buddha. And it will be the first place in the world to collect and make it as close to the truth as possible. After listening, it is not surprising that why I am sure that Luangpur did not let me do this kind of project, because there is no way that would be Luangpur Dhammajayo's intention. And he put his hands together and bowed his head humbly, saying that with the merit of the great virtue of Luangpur Dhammajayo, this project has been around since 2010. Luangpur Upatham means it was not ordered. For each picture that had the Mo signed with different countries during that time. I remember that Luangpur 01 said at the Dream in Dream Kindergarten School that 01 should sign the academic cooperation, the purpose of which was to find the word Dhammakaya in Buddhist scriptures textbooks of each sect in each country. I also went to witness the first signing of the Mo with China on Dhammachai Day 2009, not in 2010, and it was not the Dhammachai Tripitaka project. But O6 came to tell in this program after 14 years had passed that the Dhammachai Tripitaka project started in 2010 under the patronage of Luangpur Dhammajayo. His intention according to his concept was to create the ultimate Tripitaka that was closest to the truth, that is the Buddha's words. As much as people of this era can find from Buddhist textbooks all over the world. He knocked it out, distilled it, compiled it, and brought in world-class Pali language professionals. Sit down and interpret the most appropriate criticism from the four traditions of 20 countries and store it in a digital format that will never decay, like palm leaves, that can be translated into any language in the world. O6 do not look at the results of it. When it is done, will it be beneficial? Is it worth it to spend the whole lives of many people, many groups, many countries in the world and invest a huge amount of money to hire professionals from all over the world and from all related countries just to make something that is a dream from the various crude scriptures that have been done and kept in the cabinet? Only a few people have read them, and reading them is for study but not for actual practice. Therefore, it gives results that do not reach the inner Dharma, which is the main purpose of the Buddha's teachings, for people to practice Dharma with the goal of reaching true inner happiness, which is the triple gem, Dhammakaya, and having nirvana as the ultimate goal. Continued 17. While the ultimate truth is in oneself through actual practice, as taught by Luang Pu Sad and Grandma Chan, when one reaches the triple gem within oneself, or the inner Dhammakaya, one will reach the Tipitaka within oneself, which is genuine and without error. Once one reaches it, one is on the right path, and thus encounters the genuine Dhammakaya, Buddha. Because the Buddha's teachings arise from the Buddha's own practice. Having reached the Dhamma, one then applies it to teaching. Therefore, The main principle of studying the Buddha's teachings is to lead students to practice and reach the same path as him. Importantly, one will gain the same results because they arise from true and correct practice. The intention of having the Tripitaka is to teach and practice. Finally, one must practice Dhamma as the main principle, not to have the best teachings on a shelf to worship, to brag and boast that one has done the best, most complete, most perfect thing in the world here. For the benefit of those who join in and are delighted. However, people will not reach the Dhamma just by investing in the Tripitaka or working together to preserve the Tripitaka so that it will be a teaching that will last a long time in a cabinet. Like that, the delight of preserving the teachings to last a long time in a cabinet, but not practicing according to the teachings, it becomes unworthwhile, investing time and effort with huge capital. It is like pouring chili paste into the river, wasting your whole life in doing it because doing it does not result in truly reaching the Dharma. And the teachings that are obtained are just as close as they think to the true teachings by comparing and analyzing each mistake with the brain of an academic with an Oxford-level professional who is not even a Buddhist yet. They refine and select words that are limited in this world that people who do not reach the real thing will define as the most appropriate to explain instead of the existing ones. And then say that that is the best in this world as far as finding the most capable person to do it. Without thinking that the truth is that it is still not genuine because the interpreter has not reached the real thing that the Lord Buddha reached, how can they interpret it to be correct? Just thinking that it should be more correct than what is wrong, fixing it, it turns out that the more you fix it, the more wrong it becomes. The word close to the word right is different. So why do it with something that only gets you as close to the right as possible? While practicing Dharma, you will find the right thing right away, but it is close, it never reaches the real thing. It never makes it close to the right thing. Even following the closest teachings will not make people get the right thing, which is the triple gem, until reaching nirvana. If we take that budget and the time spent on it for over 10 years, and change it to inviting people from each country, the owners of the Tripitaka, to come together and practice Dhamma, it wouldn't take over 10 years to reach the real thing within. It doesn't require that much capital. Importantly, the merit that arises is also very different. The merit from working together to create a book to teach people to read and understand, but if it is used to practice Dhamma, it will not be able to practice to the real thing because the teachings in it do not have a guideline to lead to true practice. Because the word Dhammakaya is written only a little bit. Since the original scriptures of the Tripitaka, regardless of which sect it is, if there is no mention of the word Dhammakaya or a guideline to reach Dhammakaya, it is not worth investing money and time to do something that cannot lead people out of suffering and find true happiness. Since one can reach and lead people to practice to reach it in the same way as in the time of Luang Pu Sod and Grandma Chan, in the same way as the Lord Buddha, which one can do directly. Why waste money and time doing indirect and misguided paths? The merit cannot be compared to the merit from inviting people to meditate and reach the real Dhamma, even if it only reaches inner happiness. It is also a great merit, as Luang Pu Sod said, that just seeing a flash of light is more meritorious than building a temple, a sanctuary, a sermon hall. When life is short, the human lifespan is short, and death has no sign. It is better to make nirvana clear, seek merit, and build virtue by using money and time with the most worthwhile merit. It is easy, the most economical, and the most beneficial, which is to practice Dhamma by sitting with your eyes closed and letting your mind be light and comfortable. This is it. One has taught all my life to let everyone find what is right for them, to find the Buddha within them, without having to keep reading the teachings that have been memorized and passed down for hundreds or thousands of years. But there is no guideline to lead them to practice to the point where they cannot truly reach the Dhamma or the triple gem. And that is the teaching that has Dhammakaya. which is the teaching of the Lord Buddha in the Tripitaka, but it has been lost because the transmission from those who practiced it did not reach them, so they did not understand it. And it is only left in some Tripitakas. This is the main purpose that O1 had Luang na Sudhammo do all his life, which is to search for the word Dhammakaya that appears in which scriptures, in which Tripitakas, in which countries in the world, and where it is left. Let's go collect and gather them together. Then, Luang na Sudhammo has been doing it throughout his life. I don't know how far he has gone. Suddenly, Luang na passed away. Before this project was pushed out to tell people about making merit at this time. Because that is what is important and true. It is the right word. O1 is a person who has practiced and reached the true thing within himself. O1 can clearly see the subtle sins and merits. What to do will give the most merit. O1 selects and spends time with the personnel that O1 has who come to build merit. He wants to gain the most merit in the least amount of time. He must go straight to the heart of practicing Dhamma, which is the word Dhammakaya. O1 therefore has no policy to make the Dhammakaya version of the Tripitaka. There is only to go find the word Dhammakaya in the scriptures of which country and collect them. When anyone reads the word Dhammakaya, they will be interested in knowing what it is. They will be able to follow the practice. They do not have to waste time on anything else. That was the original intention of O1 in 2009 that has not changed. Continued 18. But O6 used Dhammakaya Day to do this thing that he thought was better to do, to refer to O1, to raise funds with O1's group of children to make this chili paste to melt the river. In his own intention, which has a perspective as an academic who does not practice because he does not practice, and what drives him to want to do this kind of thing is to satisfy his own desires, which is a kind of greed, a greed to be the best, the most skilled, to do the most difficult thing that no one in the world does, to be number one in the world, the only one in the world, etc. Which is a kind of delusion, that's all. Because if O6 is someone who truly reaches the inner Dhammakaya, he will see the real thing within because he has met the real Buddha. He will see the value of life, he will see the value of the remaining time. And he will see the merit that arises as much as it is more than making a textbook that leads people astray because it is incomplete, and he will see the value of Luang Pu Dhammajayo even more. Even if he has not reached the true Dhammakaya, a wise person must think that what Luang Pu has reached and has come to pass on is the most genuine and direct thing. He must respect and honor Luang Pu because he is considered the most precious and excellent person who is still alive. And must practice Dhamma according to O1's teachings and be able to pass on the practice methods that O1 teaches to people all over the world. Focus on practicing to reach the Dhamma and make a book that comes from practicing in the right way. What he did, which is the closest to the real thing in the world, is still not real. When it is not real, those who study will not know what is right, what is real. If they practice, they will not reach what is right or real. It will lead them astray. They will just get lost further or closer, depending on the interpretation of those professional language scholars who have never practiced in practice. Making merit by doing things that will lead people astray, whether they are lost near or far, will still be lost. How can it be a lot of merit? Just think with reason. You don't even have to see the details of real merit and how it happens. People with wisdom can think of it. While Luang Por O1 saw what is real merit and what is not real merit. How can O1 invite his children to spend money and time doing things that lead people astray? How is that possible? Creating the Dhammakaya Tripitaka is definitely not Luang Por Dhammajayo's policy or objective. Anyone who is a real son of Luang Por would probably think about this. At time 15.11 on April 20th, 2023 Update Number 6 Summary Friday, May 26, 2023 as follows. Dream 101 tells me that the work I do secretly or like working underground has helped O1. O1 has been in great difficulty for a long time until my body is too weak to fight anymore. So O1 has always helped me. Dream 2, I am about to reach a point where I don't have to hide anymore and will be respected. But it is a time when the Dhammakaya temple is full of lustful currents. I will have a way to protect myself from lustful currents. But this current will be very strong and will always pull my mind down. If I enter the inner zone, I may be careless and dragged down into the current. But because I am the outer zone, the host, I will always have O1 to help me as before. Like O1 is my bodyguard. Dream 3, the truth behind the abnormality and the strong lustful currents, it came from a man who controlled everything under his power. And that man disguised himself into the temple as Luangpur O1, who no one knew was a fake. But I knew because I remembered the identity and personality of the real Luangpur. When I saw him, I knew right away that he was a fake. Even though I had a way to avoid being mixed with the lustful currents of people in the temple, my method would be used by the temple to cover up their reality. The person who pretended to be my sister would secretly learn how to protect her mind from falling into my lustful currents and then tell the people in the temple to do it in order to create a good image to hide the truth that lust was as strong as before. Dream 4, in the future, if I still go to the temple to accumulate merit, I will focus on developing my own mind, fixing myself so that my mind can be free from the lustful currents and not be drawn into them. But when I saw a way to prevent myself from falling into the lustful currents, the temple used it as a way to create an image for people to see that they too can escape the lustful currents. But the truth was not fixed. There were only people who managed to create an image for them to look noble but did not fix the real foundation of their minds. I would definitely not stay indifferent to such an event. And O1 knows what kind of person I am. So he will take me away from the temple before something like that happens. Dream 5, and for the reason of Dream 4, O1 intends to take me to stay with O1 in a faraway place to do real work that will allow me to fly and follow the promise that he had made to make my dream come true in terms of practicing knowledge. It probably won't be long now. Note, O1 in this dream comes in the look of a clean-faced young man in a formal suit, a long-sleeved white shirt with buttons on the wrist, worn over dark trousers. From the experience of dreaming of a teacher who is not a monk many times, he will have a unique look of a layman. The dragon that hides himself said that O1 decided to leave the monkhood since the end of 2019 because of the mission that required using his physical body to do it himself because he could not contact and order the inner disciples to do the mission for O1, because O1's big secretary obstructed his instructions, both personal and public, since after O1's birthday in 2018. Being a monk, he could not do that mission, because there is a Dharma discipline that has been established. But as a layperson who has the nature of being a monk, that is, reaching and being a Dharma body that is still and firm at all times, of O1, it does not deteriorate, and can conveniently carry out various missions in Buddhism and does not violate the Dharma discipline. Continued 19. Therefore, it is certain that when Kru Mayai or Luangpur Dhammajao or the real O1 is no longer a monk, he will definitely not return to the temple to give orders. There is no role to lead the group as a monk. Even as a layman, there is no way to give orders because he was obstructed, driven out, and oppressed by O6 collaborating with O1's big secretary since he was a monk with the position of abbot. This dream is another confirmation that when Kru Mayai, O1 is no longer a monk and has not given orders since after his birthday in 2561. There was someone who gave orders instead and used O1's name since then. Until today, 6 years have passed. O1 confirms that he has never given orders, not even once because he could not give orders. This dream is to let you know that from now on, the group will meet the fake O1, which is the person that O6 and O1's big secretary brought to act as Luangpur Dhammakaya or O1. Who are the ones with the magical knowledge of tattooing all over their bodies? Not afraid of sin, merit, virtue, and punishment. Find it to erase doubts from the guidance of the hidden dragon that there is no real monk behind all the orders since 2019. That's when the temple people want to meet the real one to be sure and erase doubts from what the hidden dragons told them. They find a way to make it look like it because it's worth it to deceive the children of the great monk all over the world to continue to be useful to them for a long time. If the children lack wisdom and don't know the true identity, nature, and character of the real Luangpur Dhammakaya, they will definitely be deceived and believe it for sure. How much deeper will the delusion be? How much longer will the sins and evils increase? How much more will the world be affected by disasters and suffering? Or will it not happen at all? It depends on all the children. Will they be willing to get out of their delusion? Will it be in time? Will they believe the words of true goodwill from the group that believes in the hidden dragon? Everyone is the designer of their own life. My life belongs to me. I have to design my own life. No one can design it for me. Who will wait for the monk to help? Have you ever heard the monk say that even Father O1 himself O1 couldn't help at all? As the dragon's signal, O1 this song, Bek My Y, came before the song, Yad Nam Ta, and ended with the song, Subaru, I can't carry it alone, I'm dying, I can't carry it alone, what should I do? I can't carry it alone, the love that's broken, I have to endure, I can't let you go, 'cause I still want you to stay, oh yeah, can you slow down your tears a little? Please turn around first, please turn around first, and if you want to sing, sing with all your heart, slow down your tears a little because I don't dare, let you know that in the past. There was never a moment that I forgot you. At 1600 today, Sunday, April 30th, 2023, there was a signal from the dragon hiding in the body, which became this song. The song Subaru has the following lyrics. When I close my eyes, I can't see anything, because of this loneliness, so I try to open them and look. If I follow the path leading to that wide field, I can't see anything in front of me except the stars that are destined to be scattered. At the very least, please shine a quiet light. Come to me, I am going, with my cheeks as pale as this. I am going, goodbye Subaru. When I breathe inside my chest, the cold wind still whistles all the time. But inside my chest, it is burning, in order to continue chasing the dream. Oh, the nameless constellations that call out. At least, let it end with a clear and bright memory. I will still go by the command of my heart. I will still go, goodbye Subaru. Oh, if there is a day when someone passes this road. Oh, if there is a day when someone passes this road. I am going, with my cheeks as pale as this. I am going, goodbye Subaru. Meaning from today, Sunday, April 30th, 2023 onwards, Luangpur O1, who is the son of Dharma, must reluctantly say goodbye to his children, the group that is like the Pleiades constellation. To continue Luangpur's dream by himself, O1 must abandon his children. It depends on the merit and sin of each person who can continue the ultimate Dharma with Luangpur O1. It is not possible anymore. Update number 7. I want the 2 newly casted Buddha statues to be like this one. When you see them, they connect to the 7th base of the body. The monks inside will immediately shine. It must be like this. Other styles cannot be done. Other styles are not. Whoever says that other styles are Luangpur's idea or Luangpur's or whoever claims whatever, you have to look at the reasoning that O1 has been teaching throughout O1's life. O1 has never taught to see the Buddha statue with a black head. It will connect to the Dhammakaya within which is the white side. There must be a clear glass Buddha statue or a white or bright color throughout the body as seen in the International Dhammakaya Council. Or the gold color must be the entire body. No need to draw eyebrows or apply lipstick like that. If it is to be colored, it must be like this. That is, it is like a human body, but it is the physical body of the Dhammakaya, which is a subtle part of the inner body. Those who practice Dharma to the utmost subtlety will find this inside. If it is not subtle enough, they will not see this. Therefore, this is not the physical body of the great man, which is the human body that people see from the outside with their physical eyes, which people don't understand. The physical body of the Dhammakaya does not mean the great man's body, but the physical body of the Dhammakaya that can enter nirvana with the physical body. It is a subtle part that will overlap with the gross body that has accumulated 30 perfections in the last life completely. When reaching the end of the Dhamma, it is not the physical body of the great man's body, which is the gross human body of the Lord Buddha. The person who designed the two principal Buddha images that will be built again is not someone who has reached the Dhammakaya, is not someone who knows the Dhammakaya in themselves, is not someone who truly knows the great man's body, does not know anything at all, and then claims that they belong to Luang Por. I don't know which Luang Por, but it is definitely not Luang Por Dhammajayo, continued 20. Because if it was really O1 would not have created a great man's body like this, which is not a great man's appearance. It is not in the middle of the meditation plate, and the whole body is already gold. Why would you paint your hair black, draw your eyebrows, and put on your lips? There is no proper reason at all. It is a complete contradiction, which is definitely not the nature or character of Luang Por Dhammajayo. Because O1 will never do anything that causes conflict in people's minds. Whoever believes or wants to believe that the temple invites you to do something that is not like this, it depends on your own karma if you want to do it. As for the temple, they cannot help themselves. They are no longer saved. They are all servants and slaves of the dark side. They are all dark gray. Whoever follows them will be on the black or gray side with them. Don't risk it. Only the white side can give happiness and prosperity to humans. Other colors give the opposite. Remember it well. I have warned you. Even if someone does not have enough merit and virtue, they will not reach the highest level of Dhamma. But at least you need merit to have happiness and prosperity, both in this life and the next life and the next. Is it true? If you do it and it becomes a dark gray side, you definitely can't expect happiness. At time 09.56 on Saturday, May 27th, 2023 update number 8. The latest news came from the dream of a pure-hearted person. That dream reflects that at this time, in our Dhammakaya temple, there is no white side left, only dark gray side left. The tall figure tells us that there are a lot of dark gray side people and the black side who are smaller but have a lot of power. The black side alone can deceive the entire white side of the temple into believing and following, so they have turned into dark gray by using his black element. Both by giving him to eat, through magic pills, and by giving him to carry, by making it into a gift of Luang Pu Sad's image, coated in color, without any merit. Someone involved said that it's true. In the temple, there are only people who do not think rationally according to the truth, explaining in a way that is logical and logical, but in the end, they conclude that they believe in empty beliefs, just because they don't want to be enemies with anyone, or do not want to be a crocodile blocking the canal of the dark gray side, which is like a large river that has changed from the white side. Sometimes you have to act ignorant and not care in order to continue living because you do not know where you will go. You love the temple, love the Dharma, but you have to submit to the black side that rules the white side, which has surrendered to the gray side, avoiding the suffering that will follow. Regardless of the merits and sins that you will get, At this time, he is looking for a reason to trick those who are not in the area but volunteers, in any status, who go back and forth, not residing in the temple, to accept the power of his black objects, both to eat and to carry. The volunteers must first rely on their own PC to see how the PC will explain what is his opinion. Will make them accept this or not, even though they themselves feel that it is not, it is scary. They do not need to know much, instinct alone is enough. But they will probably be as confused as a blind chicken if they find that their PC is in a state of yellow face, green face and white hair, and has lost all strength. They have already encountered a prescription drug without realizing it, at a level where they do not have to die today, but will slowly die, to threaten if they are stubborn. It would be easy to kill. Sigh, it's like in the movies. I wish it was just a fun drama. But if it's true, what will happen next? Is it O1's fault? The temple lovers don't want to leave the temple but have to because they don't want to be poisoned. But what about those who have nowhere to go? Those who know and are capable of solving this problem are so afraid of the higher-ups that they have to pretend not to see it and run away to create their own empire instead. How can that be called a dutiful child? I'm really curious. I heard that the higher-ups got involved because O6 was the representative who negotiated with O1. But no, this O6 never really did anything himself when he had to deal with O1. He just kept making excuses, pretending all the time. Deceiving people every day because he knew that what he brought to the group to do was dangerous to everyone. And it is dangerous to Buddhism. The higher-ups may have really come in because they believed that O6 had already arranged for the temple to accept him by theory. No one dared to argue with the power of Kumari like that. But I wonder if O6 will tell you that he has already been a representative to negotiate with O1 and O1 has agreed to give the temple and branches as the higher-ups wanted to cut off the karma and forgive them. They will share the profits from the fundraising 30/70ths. And for this reason, Kumari agreed to come in and support him. He agreed to come in and must have believed that O6 had really succeeded when he had received a large share many times since O1 was wanted and was in a fugitive status. Unable to return to the temple and unable to give orders from within anymore. In 2019 onwards, have you noticed that in the past, if something inappropriate happened to Wat Phra Dhammakaya during O1's time, every news agency would report it loudly around the world and there would be a long fight. But why is it that in this era, even when a serious offense is committed, in terms of the image of a real temple, such as having 30 mining machines installed in the temple, there is no news about it at all? Who would have the power to cover up the news to this extent? People with brains should be able to think about this. And this matter occurred in the era when O1 was not around. But people with intelligence, especially O1's children, should also be able to think and think correctly. That those who know and see the sins, virtues, and dangers in hell and in samsara, like O1, who has the Dhammakaya emerge 24 hours a day, will not have any remaining karma that will cause O1 to have to pay for the karma as he claimed. And there is no way that O1 would give the temple and branches to the higher-up, as O6 represented and negotiated for them because O1 always said that the temple does not belong to the monks, but to the relatives, laypeople, and devotees who built the temple. The monk is only a caretaker for the relatives and devotees. Since O1 is not the owner of the temple, if O1 really gave the temple to the higher-ups, O1 would have committed a great sin. It is impossible. Please continue listening to 21. In the next clip,